morning. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to our another session with Uncovering India. Uh, we have been talking about pandemic. We spoke last time also, and that was when you had spoken about the second wave and the mutant virus that you had talking about, and it's all over the place today. So, starting with the situation that is prevailing today, what is your assessment of the current situation regarding COVID second wave?
Um, the second wave in India is certainly, as is apparent to all, definitely more severe than the second wave, as we are seeing in the recent few days. And it is actually because of the sheer numbers in our country, because our population is so dense, it has actually overstressed our health infrastructure. And I think we should take every effort to try and, as citizens of the country, to try and, reduce the number of cases in our country.
So when we look at the first wave, the last year, 2020, and now in 21, do you find any difference in terms of lethality or the virulence of the COVID virus, considering the number of cases and number of deaths that we are seeing?
Yes, in terms of numbers, it's much more. The denominator is much huger. So, when there are that many individuals who are found to be positive, there will be a proportion of people who will become very sick, who will need hospitalization. And in India, any small increase in percentage of cases can lead to much more pressure on the health infrastructure. So that is what we are seeing in the second wave.
Is there any difference in terms of the lethality of the virus that we are talking about double mutant and there are talks about triple mutant? Uh, is this something that we were expecting this kind of lethality, or they are two independent things, or they are correlated to each other?
So when you use the word lethality, if I have heard you right, I would like to, in my opinion, I feel the lethality of the virus is not much more. But because we have so many more cases and, about 1% or less than that, less than 1% become really, really sick. And that leads to, very serious illness, and finally individuals, not being able to, it not becomes, people just pass on. So in terms of percentage, the percentage hasn't changed, but the numbers have changed because the denominator has changed. Coming back to the mutants, see, the virus, we have to remember, was not ever in humans. It got into humans sometime late in 2019, and it is constantly, evolving to become more and more adapted in the human race. And as a result of that, there will be mutations that happen. And in this evolution process, there might be some which become fitter and better to survive, some that are not fitter and better to survive, when I talk about the mutations of the virus. Also, this is an RNA virus. As part of its replication process, errors happen while it's trying to make more of its own. So this phenomenon of mutations happening in the virus's genome is natural. It's not unique to this particular virus. And naturally, as it evolves, it tries to become more adapted to the human host. And in the process, a virus may become more transmissible. It's possible some viruses can cause very much more severe disease. And some viruses may be less inactivated by sera from individuals who have been vaccinated or who have had past infection. That means they are not neutralized or eliminated by the antibodies in the blood of individuals who have been previously vaccinated or who have experienced infection in the past. Sometimes they can also escape detection. These are some of the potential impacts of a mutation. So I don't think the second wave is linked to just higher transmissibility of any of these variants. Okay, a variant is a virus that has any of the properties I had just mentioned. It is also because we had abandoned a lot of our COVID appropriate behavior. We had let down our guard. It's also probably after a year of COVID, there was this COVID fatigue among the general population. But unfortunately, our letting down of the guard has allowed the virus to gain itself into larger numbers in our population and then spreading rampantly across different states in our country.
So you are saying that virus mutation has got nothing to do with the severity or the increase in cases that we are seeing. It is more of the
Virus
spread.
mutation or the variant alone cannot be incriminated. Like if we look at the UK variant, which you must have heard of, it was proven to be more transmissible. And viruses will aim to become more transmissible because that is a survival trait for the virus. Its aim is to infect more and more hosts for its own survival. Okay, so it is not necessarily associated with increased lethality or increased serious infection, but it would love to keep infecting more and more hosts so that once it gets into a host, it can multiply, make more of its own, then get into another host. So that is the very nature of viruses, all viruses.
We are expecting more such mutant variants of the virus in coming days. You are now talking about the third variant.
We can, to be practical, we should expect more mutations in the future, and hopefully they will not be, any of the kind that would make the infection more lethal. When I use the word lethal, the risk of more death and more very serious disease. We hope no such variant appears, but governments across the world and including India have set up groups that are, doing genomic surveillance of these strains of the virus to see if any such variant has appeared. Thus far, no such extremely lethal variant has come, but we have seen that some of these variants are more transmissible. And we can expect more in the future, but we have two important weapons against any variant. One is the mask itself. No variant, believe me, can defeat the mask. A mask wearing is important. Proper mask wearing is even more important. That's number one. And number two is for us to embrace the vaccination that is happening in our country. We know now we have got a crunch with the number of vaccine doses, but as and when the vaccination picks up again, we should not have any hesitancy about taking vaccine. We must all get ourselves vaccinated with 2 doses of the vaccine.
There are still many myths that are surrounding the vaccine. Despite this kind of situation we are seeing, people are still showing reluctance for a vaccination. What would you like to tell these people who are still driven by causes, maybe superstition or whatever? There's some sort of a resistance still there. So what would you like to tell them?
I would like to tell all who are hesitating to take a vaccine to say, any vaccine, whatever the make, will protect individuals from severe disease. It may not protect against infection. See, this is in many people, more than 95% of the population. This infection causes, very mild infection, running nose, little fever, altered smell, altered taste, maybe some body ache. And in more than 95% of individuals, that is what this disease causes. So it is possible, even after completing vaccination, you may pick up infection because you have not been wearing a mask, and this travels through droplet infection. So therefore, it may enter your nasal passage and cause a mild infection. But the vaccine protects against severe and serious disease, which could potentially lead to deaths as well.
One thing I would like to know from you, ma'am, how much is our spitting behavior responsible for this kind of spread of the virus? We have seen people wearing the mask, pulling it down, spitting and putting it up. So, would you like to appeal to the people regarding their behavior when it comes to daily living?
I certainly would say that is, a practice or a behavior pattern that we should have anyway done away with it in the past, and definitely not now. Pulling down the mask itself, if I am just, incubating the virus, I've just picked up the virus infection, pulling down the mask, I am releasing virus particles into the environment, and spitting, my oral secretions are spilling out of my mouth onto the ground in front of me. With our dense population, there are people probably not physically distant enough away from us. So that definitely will contribute to droplets in the air. Spitting by any standards is not a good practice, and definitely not in the current pandemic situation.
Ma'am, your Covaxin has been now taken off from your testing list and now under production for now more commercial usage. Uh, we have already Covishield in market, and now Sputnik and others, Pfizer also are coming in. So at least four vaccine players we are going to see in the market. So does that make our situation better than we hope for?
Yes, as soon as more of these doses become available, I think the government has spoken to the initial two players, both Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech, to step up their production as much as they can. And definitely the entry of Sputnik 5 and other vaccines would give us a shot in the arm to be able to, deliver more vaccination doses to our population. In terms of the pace, it was very good to start off with. But, compared to other countries, our population is so huge. So, even we will have to be really, really fast to get at least 25 to 30% of our population quickly vaccinated. And definitely each one of us should take up that and say, yes, I must get vaccinated. I must, equip myself and not be, contributing to major illness in this country, because I will be protecting myself from serious disease and hospitalization if I take the vaccine.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable time once again. And we wish you all the best for all the research work that you are doing. As I have told you earlier, also, you all are part of our frontline warriors, working day and night to protect the fellow citizens of this country and possibly the world also in the coming future. We wish you all the best and hope that your efforts continue this way and more lives are saved in the future.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I really would like everybody to know that it is both you and me who can help in breaking the chain of transmission of this virus further in our communities. Therefore, by staying safe and keeping people around us safe, we will not further overwhelm our healthcare sector and infrastructure. So that is our contribution to our nation, at this difficult time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable words and wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.